Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo officially launched the government's part-time jobs and small business grants initiatives in Region 10 on May 28. Dr. Jagdeo said this forms part of the administration's plan to subsidize household income in light of the rising cost of living.
Now we're coming out of the pandemic with this big task ahead. We can't aim for 50,000 jobs that we campaign on. We said if we win, we will do 50,000. We have to do much, much more to generate jobs. But it's becoming harder because in all parts of the country. Because what has happened is Region 4 and 3, a lot of investment flow in those areas. So we are having job shortages in some of these areas. But in Berbice, in Essequibo, in Linden, Region 10, in Region 5, in the hinterland areas, we're not getting as many investments because the investors don't want to come out so far. So we now have to find other activities to find jobs for people until we can train them or we can get investments coming into their community or they can travel to work in Region 4. And so we decided we're going to launch this initiative. So it's going to be about 8 to 10,000 of our people hired through this initiative. They will get $40,000 a month for 10 days work. So they would stagger. And the 10 days, it's not free money. You have to work. So, but you don't have to go in the fields, etc., because we need a lot of people to assist in the hospitals. We need some to assist in the libraries, in the schools. We can place people in different agencies so they're doing productive work.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony witnessed the launch of the country's first ever Health First telehealth app. There, he announced that his ministry will soon launch a pilot program this year to establish interagency collaboration amongst the health institutions countrywide to improve the delivery of healthcare services.
Now, we are hoping to start a pilot this year where the person who would be at the health center would also have internet-enabled devices. So they would have stethoscopes and ultrasound capabilities and some other tools that would be available to them that would allow them to do proper or a more thorough examination of the patient. And based on that, for the patient, for the doctor on the other side, probably to be able to make a diagnosis with these parameters.
Following numerous complaints regarding the commencement of works on the alignment of the main road at Mara, Region 6, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell and the minister within the ministry, Deodat Indar, met with residents to devise a solution to their issues. Following the interaction, it was agreed that the works will commence in phases to ensure that residents are able to traverse freely.
If my people start excavating this road to put in the sub-base of the sand, the loom, and the crusher run, it means that vehicles can't traverse it the way they're traversing it right now. Are you prepared for that to start happening immediately? It means that the truckman will not be able to go tilt to the back. Anybody who got to tote anything, they're going to tote it for your shoulder to a point where the truckman could get it. Or motorbike riding from the car now, carrying it to the truck. We agree on that? Yes. Because with development, we have to make some sacrifices.
Minister Edgell also met with residents of Kokwani, Region 10, where he announced that emergency works will commence on 2 culverts.
We'll have to block those roads to get the jobs executed. So you will have to sensitize your community because you don't want lawlessness to prevail. And I have a concern right now as it is there. Look, we were passing and a man with a container, we're going to go over that same piece of place where it's hollow at the bottom. If he break and fall in there, the road is cut off before you could actually start getting work done. Machinery will be damaged, other people can't pass, a big inconvenience to everybody.
Kokwani was hit by flooding as a result of heavy rainfall, which caused the damages to the recently rehabilitated culverts thus resulting in several areas being inundated. Still on flooding, several interventions were made by the government to bring relief to those affected in Region 9. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell recently visited a number of villages in the south and the central Rupununi, where he distributed cleaning supplies and the food hampers to those affected. Meanwhile, Guyana is moving ahead with the vaccination of children 5 to 11 years to protect against the COVID-19. This was announced by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony.
We are also expecting to get the pediatric Pfizer vaccines. These are vaccines that can be used for children between 11 and 5. And by the second week of June, we will start making these vaccines available.
In observance of World No Tobacco Day, the Ministries of Health and Education is partnering to educate young people on the dangers of tobacco smoking. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony gave brief remarks at the sensitization event held on Main Street, Georgetown.
There are a two-pronged approach that we want to use. The first is really prevention. And to prevent smoking, we need to talk to younger people and to get them to understand the dangers of smoking.
As the world is still plagued by COVID-19, Dr. Anthony said smokers are at a higher risk of contracting the severe form of the disease. The community of Tiger Bay will soon benefit from a number of projects, including the construction of proper roads and the desilting of drains to prevent flooding in the area. These commitments were made following a visit by Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Darmlal.
I have a commitment from the Minister of Public Works that Tuesday they're going to send their technical people in to do an assessment of how much work has to be done. So y'all going to go around with them, right? And show them, and then they can pave the road back. Second thing we will do, I'm going to send a team in as well, and we can put together a committee in Tiger Bay to help clean up the drains.
As Guyana continues its rapid socio-economic boom, the PPPC government is swiftly modernizing existing essential services to protect the lives and the property of all Guyanese. More recently, hundreds of residents in and around the community of Eccles will benefit from a newly commissioned modern-equipped $37.8 million fire station located at Eccles, East Bank, Demerara.
Beyond the structure, the fact that we are bringing in a fire truck with the 24/7 complement of firefighters speaks to our intention of establishing in detail throughout the country the ability to respond to the challenges of fire, to the challenges of search and rescue, to the challenges of security and safety of our people.
The construction of the fire station began on June 11, 2021. The modern 139 feet by 25 feet design consists of 4 living quarters for male and female firefighters and emergency medical services staff, a control room, 3 office areas, kitchen and external storage for fire service equipment. More than 300 residents of Linden, Region 10, are eager to take advantage of government's home construction assistance program. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell said this marks the highest response rate since the program was announced by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali in May.
Linden here has been very successful in terms of our outreach. And as I said, we've engaged hundreds of persons, but of course there's some who have to come back with additional information or some who just came to know more about the program. And so I expect that we'll have more being shortlisted for pre-qualification.
Under this initiative, applicants can select one of 3 categories of units available. These are 2-bedroom flat units costing $7 million, 3-bedroom flat units for $9 million, and 3-bedroom elevated units at $12 million. Already, 20 contractors of Linden have expressed their interest in building these homes. Residents of Region 6 East Berbice Quarantine are benefiting from employment and community development through major infrastructural rehabilitation. The infrastructural project is being rolled out by the Ministry of Public Works Special Projects Unit, an initiative geared at fostering community development and the active participation of residents. Under this initiative, residents are urged to form teams to undertake the construction of footpaths and roads in their communities. At present, this initiative is being rolled out in the villages of Crabwood Creek, Rose Hall, Little India, Little Africa, Kingston, Rose Hall, Betsy Ground Kanji, and Firish.
But what we have examined today is work that is being undertaken by the Special Projects Unit to bring relief to people. We want to bring everybody out of the mud. So if there is something that the people of Quarantine could find out, is that my team have gone from Crabwood Creek all the way down, and wherever the people are in the mud, and they have to come through the mud, wash the foot of the roadhead, the children falling in mud, the old people falling in mud when they go in hospital. We are putting systems in place to get people out of the mud.
Government is taking steps to curtail the abuse of wildlife locally with the introduction of a domestic licensing system, a management system aimed at preserving wildlife through effective monitoring for both commercial and non-commercial use. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Teixeira, lauded the initiative and believes corrupt practices within the industry should have similar penalties as that of narco and human trafficking.
We must become more regulated in terms of the way we do business in Guyana. This is part of rule of law, this is part of governance of our society. And we have to learn that this is how life goes, and this is what you need to do in order to carry out certain activities. So from a principle point of view, I think we have to do that, and we have to make sure that we are constantly monitoring and looking at how it is evolving and convincing people, using the powers of persuasion before you do the enforcement.
Additionally, President Irfaan Ali has announced a $100,000 cash grant for each child living with a disability in Guyana. This grant will be given annually.
We'll go for supplementary provision to have the money.
That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.